I stood in front of everyone I loved and told them what my sister did. They looked at me like I was the monster. She smiled behind her tears, and I knew then this was only the beginning of my revenge. My name is Rachel Martinez. I'm a social worker who helps broken families heal. I never thought my own sister would destroy mine from the inside, the discovery. The clock on my dashboard read 3:15 when I pulled into my driveway. I had left work early because of a migraine that had been building since lunch. All I wanted was to lie down in my quiet apartment and close my eyes. I grabbed my purse from the passenger seat and walked up the stairs to my second-floor unit. When I put my key in the lock, I heard something that made me stop. Voices, low and hurried, coming from inside my apartment. My heart started beating faster. I lived alone. No one else had a key except for Jennifer, my younger sister, and she was supposed to be at work. I pushed the door open slowly. The voices were coming from my home office, the small room where I kept all my work files and my laptop. I walked down the hallway, my footsteps silent on the carpet. The office door was half open. I could see the glow of my laptop screen. I stepped into the doorway and froze. Jennifer sat at my desk, her phone in her hand, pointing it at my laptop screen. She was taking pictures. My laptop was open to my client database, the confidential files I used for my casework. Names, addresses, family histories, abuse reports, everything that was supposed to be private and protected. She looked up at me. Our eyes met. I expected her to jump, to look guilty, to scramble for an explanation, but she didn't. She just stared at me with this cold, calm expression. No fear, no shame, nothing. "What are you doing?" I asked. My voice came out steady, but my hands were shaking. She set her phone down on the desk and smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was the kind of smile someone gives you when they know something you don't. "Just checking on something," she said. I walked toward the desk. "Those are confidential files, Jennifer. You can't look at those. You can't take pictures of those." She stood up and picked up her phone, sliding it into her pocket. "Relax, Rachel. I was just curious about what you do all day." "Get out," I said. She walked past me so close I could smell her perfume. At the doorway, she turned back. "You should be more careful about leaving your laptop unlocked," she said. Then she left. I sat down at my desk and stared at the screen. My hands were still shaking. I checked the recent activity on my laptop. She had been logged in for over an hour. She had opened dozens of files. She had access to everything. But why? What was she planning? I already knew the answer deep down. I just didn't want to believe it yet, the accusation. My phone rang at 7 in the morning. It was my mother. I answered, still half asleep. "Rachel, we need to talk. Come to the house. Now." Her voice was cold. She hung up before I could ask what was wrong. I drove to my parents' house with a sick feeling in my stomach. When I walked in, everyone was already there. Mom, Dad, and Jennifer. They were sitting in the living room. Jennifer's eyes were red, like she had been crying. Mom had her arm around her. "Sit down," Dad said. He didn't look at me. I sat in the chair across from them. "What's going on?" Jennifer sniffled and wiped her eyes. Mom squeezed her shoulder. Dad cleared his throat. "Jennifer told us what you've been doing," he said. "What I've been doing?" I repeated. "Selling client information," Mom said. Her voice was sharp. "To journalists, for money." I felt like I had been punched in the chest. "What? That's insane! I would never—" "She has proof," Dad interrupted. He picked up his phone from the coffee table and turned it toward me. On the screen was an email. My email address at the top. The message was to someone named David Chen, offering to sell confidential case files for $5,000. "That's not real," I said. "I never sent that. I don't even know who David Chen is." Jennifer let out a sob. "Stop lying. Rachel, just stop." I looked at her. She was staring at me with this heartbroken expression, but her eyes were sharp. She was acting. "Show me your phone," I said to Dad. He handed it to me. I scrolled through the email thread. There were 5 messages total, all from my email address, all negotiating prices and discussing which files to sell. The writing style even sounded like me. "This is fake," I said. "Someone faked these emails. Jennifer, Don't you dare accuse your sister," Mom said. Her voice was shaking with anger. "She came to us in tears because she was worried about you. She found these on your laptop yesterday and she didn't know what to do." "She was snooping through my laptop," I said. "I caught her taking pictures of my files." "Because she was trying to protect you," Dad said. "She thought maybe you were being blackmailed or manipulated. But then she found these emails. Jennifer started crying harder. I'm so sorry, Rachel. I wanted to believe you were innocent, but the evidence is right there. I stood up. This is crazy. You all know me. You know I would never do something like this. Mom stood up too. I thought I knew you, but people change when money is involved. I don't need money, I said. I have a good job. I have savings. Why would I risk everything? Gambling debts, Dad suggested. Credit card debt? We don't know what's going on in your life anymore, Rachel. There's nothing going on. Jennifer is lying. Get out, Mom said quietly. Mom, get out of our house. I looked at Jennifer. She was watching me through her fingers, and for just a second, I saw it. The smile, small and satisfied, hidden behind her hands where our parents couldn't see. She had planned this, all of it. I turned and walked out, slamming the door behind me, the fallout. Monday morning, I walked into the office like nothing had happened. I told myself everything would be fine. My supervisor, Linda, would know I would never do what Jennifer claimed. The ethics board would investigate and find nothing. My family would realize they had made a mistake. But at 9:30, Linda called me into her office. Close the door, she said. Her face was serious. I sat down. My stomach was in knots. Rachel, I received an anonymous complaint over the weekend. Someone claims you've been selling confidential client information to outside parties. My heart sank. Linda, that's not true. My sister made up lies and… She held up her hand. I have to follow protocol. You're being placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation. You need to hand over your badge and your key card. But I didn't do anything wrong. The complaint included evidence, email threads, transaction records. We have to take this seriously. Someone faked those emails, I said. Someone hacked my account. That will be determined during the investigation, Linda said. For now, you cannot access any client files or agency systems. You cannot contact any clients. Do you understand? I felt tears burning in my eyes, but I refused to cry. How long will the investigation take? 2 to 4 weeks, typically. 2 to 4 weeks without pay. 2 to 4 weeks with my reputation destroyed. 2 to 4 weeks while everyone whispered about me in the break room. I handed over my badge and key card. Linda walked me to the door like I was a criminal. In the parking lot, I sat in my car and stared at the building. Inside were all my cases, all the families I had been helping. The Johnsons, who were working through a custody dispute. The Ramirez family, who were in therapy after years of domestic violence. The Turner kids, who were finally feeling safe in their foster home. All of them were being reassigned to other social workers. All of my work, my relationships with these families, just erased. I drove home and went straight to my apartment. I sat on my couch in the dark and tried to understand how this had happened so fast. Jennifer had been in my apartment for 1 hour on Friday afternoon. By Sunday, she had convinced my parents I was a criminal. By Monday morning, I was suspended from my job. How had she done this so perfectly? And more importantly, why? I thought about calling her, confronting her, demanding answers, but I knew she wouldn't tell me the truth. She would just cry and play the victim and make me look worse. I needed to be smart about this. I needed to figure out her plan before she could do any more damage. I got up and went to my office. My laptop was still there, still open to the same files Jennifer had been looking at. I started going through my email account, my cloud storage, everything. And that's when I realized just how deep this went. The pattern, I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about Jennifer's face when she looked at me from my desk. That cold, calm expression, like she had done this before, and then I remembered. She had. I got out of bed at 2 a.m. and went to my closet. In the back, on the top shelf, was a box of old journals and notebooks from college. I pulled it down and started reading. Junior year, spring semester. I had written about Jennifer losing her scholarship. She was a freshman then, and she had a full ride for academic achievement. But halfway through the year, they took it away. She told everyone it was because I had sabotaged her. She said I had logged into her student account and changed her class schedule, making her miss important exams. I had denied it, of course. But Jennifer cried so much, and she seemed so hurt, that eventually people started to believe her. My parents made me pay half her tuition that year as punishment. I did it because I didn't want to cause more problems. But I never actually logged into her account. I couldn't have. I didn't know her password. I kept reading. Senior year, fall semester. Jennifer got engaged to her boyfriend, Tyler. 3 months later, the engagement was off. Jennifer told everyone that I had tried to seduce Tyler at a family dinner. She said I had sent him inappropriate messages and tried to kiss him when no one was looking. Tyler denied it. I denied it. But Jennifer had screenshots of messages from my phone number, asking Tyler to meet me alone, saying things I never would have said. My parents believed her. Most of our extended family believed her. Tyler's family believed her. The engagement ended, and Jennifer played the heartbroken victim for months. I closed the journal and sat on the floor of my bedroom. I couldn't believe I hadn't seen the pattern before. Jennifer didn't just lie. She framed people. She created fake evidence. She made herself look innocent while destroying everyone around her. And every time our family believed her without question. I spent the rest of the night going through my old journals, documenting every incident I could remember. The time in high school when money went missing from Mom's purse, and Jennifer said she saw me take it. The time Jennifer crashed Dad's car and said I had been the one driving. The time my high school boyfriend broke up with me because Jennifer told him I was cheating. Every single time she had blamed me, and every single time I had been too shocked and hurt to fight back properly. But this time was different. This time she wasn't just ruining a relationship or costing me money. She was destroying my career. She was taking away the work I loved. She was trying to erase me. I wasn't going to let her win this time. By sunrise, I had a list of 12 incidents where Jennifer had lied about me or someone else. I had dates, details, and in some cases, names of other people who could confirm what really happened. It was time to stop being the victim. It was time to find out the truth. The truth seeker. On Tuesday morning, I called a private investigator. His name was Marcus Webb, and he specialized in digital forensics. His website said he helped date people with cyberstalking, identity theft, and corporate espionage. I hoped he could help me too. We met at a coffee shop downtown. Marcus was in his 40s, with gray hair and glasses. He looked like a college professor, not a detective. I showed him everything. The fake emails, the timeline of Jennifer's lies, my suspicions about how she had accessed my laptop and my accounts. Can you prove she did this? I asked. Marcus looked through the emails on my phone. Maybe. If she installed spyware or keylogger software on your laptop, I can find it. If she created fake email accounts or spoofed your address, I can trace the digital footprint, but I need access to your laptop and your phone. You can have both, I said. He took my laptop with him and told me he would have answers within a week. 6 days later, he called me. You were right, he said. Come to my office. You need to see this. I drove across town to his small office above a Chinese restaurant. Inside, Marcus had 3 computer monitors set up on his desk, all showing different screens of code and data. Your sister installed spyware on your laptop 6 months ago, he said, pointing to the first monitor. It's called a remote access Trojan. It let her see everything you typed. Every website you visited, every file you opened, she had complete access to your computer without you knowing. 6 months. She had been watching me for 6 months. How did she install it? I asked. Probably through a USB drive or a fake software update. Did she ever use your laptop? I thought back. Last summer, Jennifer had asked to borrow my laptop to print something. She said her printer was broken. I had let her use it for 15 minutes. Yes, I said. Once, last June. Marcus nodded. That would be enough time. Once the spyware was installed, she could log in remotely whenever she wanted. She copied your passwords, your email writing style, your browser history, everything. He pointed to the second monitor. She created fake email accounts using your name. She sent messages to people pretending to be you. She even created fake bank transactions to make it look like you were receiving money. Can you prove it was her? I asked. Yes. The spyware was installed from an IP address registered to Jennifer Martinez at an apartment address in Oakdale. The fake email accounts were accessed from the same IP address. I have timestamps, location data, and device fingerprints. I felt dizzy. It was real. It was all real. Jennifer had been planning this for months. Why would she do this? I asked quietly. Marcus pulled up the third monitor. I did some digging. Your sister applied for a job at your agency 3 months ago. She wanted to be a social worker. She was rejected because she didn't have the right qualifications. I stared at the rejection letter on the screen. Jennifer had applied to work at my agency. She wanted my job. She couldn't get hired, Marcus continued, so she decided to get you fired instead. If your reputation was destroyed and you lost your job, maybe she could slide into your position, or maybe she just wanted to take something from you. Either way, this wasn't a sudden decision. This was planned. I sat down in the chair by his desk. My sister didn't just betray me, she wanted to erase me. She wanted to become me. Can I use this evidence to clear my name? I asked. Absolutely, Marcus said. I'll prepare a full forensic report, but there's one more thing you should do first. What? Get a confession, the counter move. I didn't tell anyone what Marcus had found. Not my parents, not my supervisor, not my friends. If Jennifer found out I knew the truth, she might run or destroy evidence. I needed her to think she had won. So I called her. Jennifer, it's me. She was quiet for a moment. Rachel, hi. I need to talk to you. Can we meet? I don't know if that's a good idea, she said slowly, and please, I just want to apologize. I know I hurt you by accusing you, and I feel terrible. Can we get coffee? Just the two of us? Another pause. Then, okay, how about Thursday? 2 o'clock at the Riverside Cafe. That's perfect. Thank you, Jennifer. Of course. I miss you, Rachel. I hung up and stared at my phone. She was good. She sounded so sincere, so caring. If I didn't know the truth, I would have believed her completely. On Thursday, I met Marcus in his car outside the cafe. He gave me a small recording device, the size of a button, that clipped onto my shirt collar. It will pick up everything within 10 feet, he said. Just act natural. If you can get her to talk about what she did, we'll have everything we need. I walked into the cafe and saw Jennifer sitting at a corner table. She waved and smiled. She looked happy, relaxed. She thought she had destroyed me. I sat down across from her. Thanks for meeting me. Of course, she said. Are you okay? You look tired. I've been better. I'm suspended from work. Mom and Dad won't talk to me. I feel like I've lost everything. Her expression softened with fake sympathy. I'm so sorry, Rachel. I wish things were different. I know you were just trying to help, I said. When you found those emails on my laptop, you were trying to protect the family. I understand that now. She nodded. I was so scared when I saw them. I didn't know what to do. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why do you think I did it? Why do you think I would sell client files? She stirred her coffee. I don't know. Maybe you needed money. Maybe someone was pressuring you. But I don't need money. You know that. Sometimes people make bad choices, she said softly. Even good people. I leaned forward. The thing is, I keep thinking about the past. About all the times you said I did something wrong. The scholarship thing, the engagement thing, the money from Mom's purse. I always denied it, but no one believed me. Her smile faded slightly. Those were different situations. Were they? Because it feels like a pattern, Jennifer. It feels like you've been blaming me for things my whole life. Rachel, don't do this. Do what? Make yourself the victim. You made mistakes. You hurt people. I was just trying to protect our family. I watched her carefully. From me? Yes, from you. Why do you hate me so much? The question hung in the air. Jennifer's face changed. The sympathy disappeared. Her eyes went cold. You really want to know? She asked quietly. Yes. She leaned back in her chair. Because you have everything, the perfect job, the perfect apartment, Mom and Dad's respect. Everyone loves Rachel, the hero social worker who saves families. Meanwhile, I'm the screw-up little sister who can't do anything right. That's not true. It is true, she snapped. I applied to your agency. Did you know that? I wanted to work there to finally do something meaningful. They rejected me. They said I wasn't qualified. But you got hired right out of grad school. So you decided to ruin my career? I decided to take what you didn't deserve, she said. You act like you're so perfect. But you're not. You're just lucky, and I'm tired of watching you have everything while I have nothing. She stopped suddenly, like she realized she had said too much. I kept my voice calm. So you installed spyware on my laptop. You faked emails. You framed me. Her eyes widened. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. She stood up. This conversation is over. Sit down, Jennifer. No, you're delusional. You're trying to twist this around and blame me just like always. I'm not twisting anything. You told me the truth just now. You admitted you wanted to take my job. She grabbed her purse. You're crazy. Stay away from me. She walked out of the cafe, leaving me sitting alone. I reached up and touched the recording device on my collar. I had everything I needed, the allies. That night, I called my old college roommate, Vanessa Chen. We hadn't talked much in the past year, but I knew she worked for a law firm that specialized in defamation and wrongful termination cases. Vanessa, I need help. I told her everything: the spyware, the fake emails, the confession I had just recorded. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "Send me everything: the forensic report, the recording, all of it. I'll review it tonight." The next morning, she called me back. "Rachel, this is solid. You have a defamation case against Jennifer and possibly a wrongful termination case against your employer if they don't reinstate you immediately. What do I need to do?" "First, we present the evidence to your supervisor. Make sure they know you were framed. Second, we decide if you want to press charges against Jennifer. What she did is illegal. It's identity theft, computer fraud, and defamation. She could face serious consequences." "I want her to face consequences," I said, "but I also want my job back, and I want my family to know the truth." "We can make all of that happen," Vanessa said. Meanwhile, Marcus continued digging into Jennifer's background. He found something that shocked me. "Your sister has done this before," he said when he called me on Sunday. "I found 3 other people who had similar experiences with her: a former roommate who was falsely accused of theft, a coworker who was framed for harassment, an ex-boyfriend who was accused of stalking." "She framed 3 other people?" "At least 3. I found evidence of fake emails, fake social media accounts, and false police reports, all linked back to her. These people had their lives ruined and no one believed them." I felt sick. Jennifer wasn't just a liar. She was a serial manipulator who destroyed people for her own gain. "Will they help us?" I asked. 2 of them said yes. They're willing to testify about what she did to them. They want justice too. That week, Vanessa, Marcus, and I built a timeline of Jennifer's lies, spanning 7 years. We had documented evidence of every false accusation, every fake email, every life she had ruined. We had her patterns, we had her motives, we had her confession, and we had 3 other victims who were ready to speak up. I wasn't just fighting for myself anymore. I was fighting for everyone Jennifer had ever hurt. It was time for her to face the truth. The confrontations, I asked my parents to meet me on Saturday afternoon. I told them it was important, that I had something they needed to see. I didn't tell them what. My father sounded hesitant on the phone. "Jennifer should be there too, don't you think?" "Yes," I said. "She definitely should be there." I arrived at my parents' house at 2 o'clock. Vanessa came with me, carrying a laptop and a folder of documents. My parents were waiting in the living room with confused expressions. Jennifer was there too, sitting on the couch with her arms crossed. "What's this about?" Mom asked. "I have some things to show you," I said. "Things that will explain what really happened." Jennifer laughed. "Is this another conspiracy theory, Rachel? Are you going to accuse me of something else?" "Actually, yes," I said. I set up the laptop on the coffee table. Vanessa opened the forensic report that Marcus had prepared. "For the past 6 months," I began, "Jennifer has been spying on me. She installed spyware on my laptop that let her see everything I did online. She collected my passwords, copied my writing style, and created fake email accounts in my name. Then she used those fake accounts to make it look like I was selling client information." "That's ridiculous," Jennifer said. "Let me finish," I said. "I hired a private investigator. He found the spyware. He traced it back to Jennifer's IP address and her apartment. He found the fake email accounts she created. He found evidence of bank accounts she set up to make it look like I was receiving money. Everything." I turned the laptop toward my parents. "This is the forensic report. You can read it yourself." Dad leaned forward and started reading. Mom looked at Jennifer, then at me, then back at the screen. "This can't be real," Mom said quietly. "It's real," Vanessa said. "I'm Rachel's attorney. This report was prepared by a licensed digital forensic investigator. It would hold up in court." Jennifer stood up. "This is insane. Rachel is making this up because she's desperate." "Sit down," I said. "I'm not finished." I played the recording from the cafe. Jennifer's voice filled the room, clear and sharp. "I decided to take what you didn't deserve. You act like you're so perfect, but you're not. I'm tired of watching you have everything while I have nothing." The room went silent. Mom's face had gone completely white. Dad stared at the laptop like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Jennifer's mouth opened, but no words came out. "That's not," she started. "You manipulated the audio." You edited it. I didn't, I said. But if you don't believe me, I have 3 other people who will testify that you've done this before. You framed your college roommate for theft. You framed a coworker for harassment. You framed an ex-boyfriend for stalking. You've been doing this for years, Jennifer, and every time you got away with it because no one questioned you. Rachel, Mom whispered. Is this true? Yes. Dad turned to Jennifer. Tell us this isn't true. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. You're going to believe her over me? After everything? Answer the question, Dad said. His voice was hard. I was trying to help. You destroyed my career, I said. You turned my family against me. You made everyone think I was a criminal. Why? Because you were jealous. Because you wanted my job? I didn't mean for it to go this far, Jennifer said. She was crying now, but it felt different than before. It felt real. I just wanted them to see that you're not perfect. I wanted them to see me for once. So you tried to ruin my life. I'm sorry, she sobbed. Mom stood up and walked out of the room. Dad just stared at Jennifer like he didn't recognize her. Get out, he said quietly. Dad. Get out of our house. Jennifer looked at me. Her face was red and streaked with tears. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. But then I remembered everything she had done, not just to me, but to everyone else she had hurt. You should have stopped after the first time, I said. You should have learned that lies always catch up to you. Jennifer grabbed her purse and ran out of the house. The door slammed behind her. I sat down on the couch, suddenly exhausted. Vanessa squeezed my shoulder. What happens now? Dad asked. Now, Vanessa said, Rachel gets her life back. The reckoning. On Monday morning, Vanessa and I met with my supervisor, Linda, and the agency's legal team. We presented the forensic report, the recording, and statements from the other people Jennifer had framed. Linda read through everything twice. When she finished, she looked at me with genuine regret. Rachel, I owe you an apology. We should have investigated more thoroughly before suspending you. I understand you had to follow protocol, I said, but I need my job back. You'll be reinstated immediately, Linda said. Full back pay for the time you were suspended. And we'll issue a formal statement clearing your name. What about the ethics complaint? It's being withdrawn. The board reviewed your case this morning with the new evidence. They agree that you were the victim of a malicious, false accusation. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. My career wasn't over. My reputation would be repaired. I could go back to helping families, back to doing the work I loved. But the hardest part was still ahead. That evening, Vanessa filed a civil lawsuit against Jennifer for defamation, identity theft, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We also filed a criminal complaint with the police for computer fraud and identity theft. 2 days later, Jennifer was arrested. The police seized her laptop and phone, finding even more evidence of her schemes. They discovered that she had been planning to apply for my job under a fake name once I was fired. She had already created false credentials and a fake resume. Within a week, Jennifer lost her own job. Her employer, a marketing firm, fired her after they discovered she had falsified her work history on her job application. They also found evidence that she had been stealing client information to sell to competitors. The irony wasn't lost on me. The crime she had accused me of was exactly what she had been doing herself. My parents called me on Friday night. Mom's voice was heavy with guilt. Rachel, we're so sorry. We should have believed you. We should have questioned Jennifer's story. I understand why you didn't, I said. She was very convincing. That's not an excuse, Dad said. You're our daughter. We should have trusted you. I forgive you, I said. But it's going to take time for me to trust you again. We understand, Mom said quietly. I moved forward with the lawsuit. It wasn't about the money. It was about the record. It was about making sure that what Jennifer did was documented, so she couldn't do it to anyone else. The court case was scheduled for 3 months later. In the meantime, I went back to work, reconnected with my clients, and started rebuilding my life. But every time I thought about Jennifer, I felt a strange mixture of sadness and anger. She was my sister. I had loved her, and she had tried to destroy me because she couldn't stand to see me succeed. Some betrayals, I realized, can never be fully forgiven. You can move past them, but you can never forget them. The new beginning, the court hearing, was on a cold morning in November. I sat in the front row with Vanessa beside me. Jennifer sat across the aisle with her lawyer, a public defender who looked overwhelmed. The judge reviewed all the evidence, the forensic report, the recording, the testimony from the other victims. Jennifer's lawyer tried to argue that she had acted out of mental distress, that she needed help rather than punishment, but the judge wasn't swayed. "Miss Martinez," he said, looking at Jennifer, "you engaged in a calculated, deliberate campaign to destroy your sister's reputation and career. You installed spyware, created fake evidence, and filed false complaints. You did this not once, but multiple times, to multiple people. This court finds you guilty of defamation, identity theft, and computer fraud." He sentenced her to 2 years of probation, 500 hours of community service, and ordered her to pay restitution to me and the other victims. She was also required to attend mandatory counseling. It wasn't a harsh sentence, but it was enough. Jennifer would have a criminal record. Her actions would follow her, and maybe, just maybe, she would learn that lies have consequences. After the hearing, I walked out of the courthouse into the cold air. Vanessa hugged me. "It's over," she said. "It's over," I repeated. In the months that followed, I focused on rebuilding my relationships with my family. My parents made an effort to spend more time with me, to ask questions before jumping to conclusions. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. I threw myself into my work, helping families navigate their hardest moments. Every case reminded me why I had chosen this career. People needed someone who would listen, someone who would believe them, someone who would fight for them. I had been that person for so many families, and when I needed it most, I had learned to be that person for myself too. One afternoon, I ran into Marcus at a coffee shop. He smiled when he saw me. "How are you doing?" he asked. "Better," I said. "Much better. Thank you for everything you did." "Just doing my job," he said. "But I'm glad it worked out. Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Do you think Jennifer will change? Do you think she learned anything from this?" Marcus thought for a moment. "Some people change when they face consequences. Some people just get better at hiding. I hope for your sake she's the first kind." I hoped so too, but I wasn't holding my breath. I had learned something important through all of this. Telling the truth means nothing if you can't prove it. People believe what they want to believe. They believe the person who cries the loudest, the person who seems the most sincere, the person who confirms what they already think. But the truth doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be documented, proven, and presented clearly. My sister had taught me that lesson the hard way. Now, I was stronger because of it. I knew how to protect myself. I knew how to fight back. And I knew that family, trust, and loyalty are fragile things that must be earned, not assumed. I rebuilt my career. I rebuilt my life. I rebuilt myself. And when I looked back at the woman who stood in her parents' living room that terrible day, telling the truth while everyone turned away, I realized something. She was stronger than she knew. She just needed time to prove it.